totally at that point, and said, no, the conditions that we're looking for is the priority policies, they go back to 83. The priority policies for how you can develop the city, they were all thrashed out in the community. It wasn't one person being off in a corner and having a visitation from the Almighty and saying, these are the priority policies. They came from long work in the community. And so the PropM was, you have to build housing, you have to pay the cost for muni, you have to have a comprehensive employment plan, and what was called, it wasn't called quite the PropM priority policies, but that's what it was. That barely lost.
1,200 votes out of 200,000.
Yeah. In November of '83. And so we went back again. So it'd been 71, 72, 79, 83. We decided we would go back and we'd be on the presidential ballot because that's the largest turnout in the city. So we went back and went out on the ballot. This will answer your question on Park Marcel a little, but I'm about to tell you. We went out on the streets. These were always put on by the voters. Because we adopted a position in PropM in 1986 that required our first time our zoning to be consistent with the master plan. It was state law, but state law exempted chartered cities. Chartered cities and counties were exempted from the law. That you had to have a consistent master plan and plan code. We decided we needed to put that one in. So we put in that and a requirement for how you applied the priority policies, what parts of the code you applied them to. And we had the office program, the office limit. We'd adopted Feinstein's limit, which was the downtown plans limit, and just said, that's the limit. And we said all the projects that were kind of rushed through at the beginning of PropM had to be deducted from it. So we stretched out the process and said, you've got to count up to a half a year. You've got to count the projects. So it lasted for about 6 years. That they were amortizing the things that they approved a long time ago in '83. And there was, before we were on the ballot, there was a challenge. And it said they're attempting to preempt state law which says the voters cannot put on the ballot an amendment to the master plan. And we had done it. We had walked into that one. Marcia, Rose, and I screwed up that one. And that was something that we needed to be bailed out for. We had all the signatures. We qualified. It had to be bailed out and changed into a 4 supervisors measure. So after we had all of our signatures under our belt, the initiative having been vetted and everything, we went to 4 supervisors, and they were Hongisto, Silver, Harry Britt, and Willie Kennedy. The Willie Kennedy was a surprise to a lot of people. But Willie had been very faithful to Diane, and she was not a bleeding heart liberal by any stretch of the imagination. But she honestly considered himself part of the public. And she knew what a big battle it had been for people to get these signatures, and said, yeah, we will go the route of putting it off with 4 supervisors, and we did.